I'm thinking of Sage Steele now, former ESPN sports commentator and now independent and amazing. And she got in trouble with ESPN because she made a comment about Barack Obama. She also had questions about the vaccine, but she made a comment about Barack Obama, who said, like, he identified it as black. And like Sage, he's actually a mixed race. He has a white mother and a black father, and that's exactly what Sage has. And she was making her own honest reaction to that, which is like, okay, if that's how you identify, but to me, it feels wrong, and it kind of feels like I'm disrespecting my mom and that part of me and my mom's influence over me. Like, she wasn't really down with that way of him identifying. Well, that wasn't okay with ESPN. That was obvious, given the blowback she got. And you and I both know, if she came out and was like, right on, if you're black at all, if you've got one black parent, you're black. And that's what he should be saying. And screw the people who go with mixed race, because that's just you trying to hedge and telegraph you've got white too. ESPN would have loved that. She would have gotten a promotion for that. But you can't say anything that is in any way critical of a minority racial group, especially blacks in America.
That was what Barack Obama learned very quickly when he ran for office. Remember that in his memoir, he said he just sort of when he went to a campus, he wanted to only hang out with black people. He had to break up with his white girlfriend. And then he really threw his own grandmother, who had actually scrimped and saved to put him in prep school, when he said she was a typical white person who was unduly afraid of black males approaching her. So he didn't want to be known as a multiracial or non-racial person. He really wanted to emphasize only half of his own ancestry. And it was very sad, because when you actually looked at his grandmother and all of that, she was the one person in his life who made sure that he had access to a competitive education. And she was she worked herself way up in a bank through hard work, and yet you never got any appreciation of that. And to be called a typical white person was pretty bad. And the irony is, we're back to the 1/16th rule of the old antebellum South, where if you had just one touch of black ancestry, then you were considered black, and therefore you were discriminated and treated terribly. Now it's just the opposite. And I've asked a lot of university affirmative action officers, so you're letting in on the race, so tell me how you do it. And they won't tell you. And I said, well, you're using the 1/16th Confederate idea. Oh, that's sick of it. Why would you mention it? I said, well, then tell me the criteria that you're using, because everything has to have criteria. And they do have ratios like that. They really do, that allows someone to claim that they're of a minority.